What is going on, guys? Noah Brewer here, back again with another video, and today I'm going to be talking about when you're trying to find products, like when you're scrolling through AliExpress or Facebook. How do you tell if a product could be a winner? Like, what's that feeling that you get? Like, how do you tell if it's worth, it's throwing $100 at and seeing if it works? Because I know that I definitely, like, every product that I test is not worth testing, and there's a big difference between like finding a product and finding a product that's actually worth testing. So I have a few things that I'd like to put together, just to let you know, like, kind of my mindset when I'm looking for products. And I think that this could help you a lot if you're out there trying to find products to test right now. Two main qualifications. And the first question, and when I say question, I mean, like, let's say I have a product on my computer screen right now. There's two questions that I ask myself. Does it solve a problem, or does it create a desire? And these main two things are basically like, does it solve a problem big enough to where you could sell it for an upcharged rate, or does it create desire? Meaning, would somebody, like, if somebody in a certain market would see this, would they say like, oh, I really, really need that? And that's what I mean. Like, it has to either solve a problem or create desire, or already have desire. And I mean, because, like, if you're selling something like a chair doesn't really solve a problem. It more creates desire, right? Because if you have like a cool looking chair, like a gaming chair, it might solve a couple problems, right? Like, it might have a speaker on it, maybe some plugs on it to plug your phone in or whatever. But that's what I mean. There's a difference between solving a problem and creating desire. And you want to understand those two. And also, you always have to ask a question. Is this worth it? If it doesn't solve a problem, does it have the characteristics to create enough desire? Is it a cool enough looking chair? Maybe selling a gaming chair that looks really cool and it's blue and it has maybe lights on it or something has a lot more desire than just selling like one of those metal fold-up chairs. I mean, obviously you wouldn't try to drop ship those, but that's what I mean with desire. I mean, solving the problem is pretty obvious. But the second question that I ask myself is, what could the margin be on this product? Is it even worth testing? Now, if you know me, I don't like testing anything with a margin below 30, ideally anything above 40. So I ask myself, if it costs 30 bucks, am I able to sell this for, $70 or $80 and still have it solve a problem and still have it create desire? I talk a little bit about this, perceived value versus real value in my Scarcity Doesn't Work Anymore video. I would definitely recommend checking that out. But, as you know, I don't really like testing lower margin products, so this is definitely a question that's on my mind when I'm looking for products. Honestly, the last question that I ask myself is it worth testing? Like, there's no real way to tell or to teach if something is worth testing or not. Like, it's kind of like a feeling that I get, just after testing so many products and seeing so many products that end up working out and seeing so many products that end up just being a complete waste of money and time. You just kind of start getting a taste for it, It's kind of like a feeling where you just think like, oh yeah, this could definitely be a winner. Like, it's definitely worth testing. There's no real way to tell, but after doing it so much, you start to get an idea of like what has worked in the past, what hasn't worked in the past. There are certain niches that I stay away from. There are certain niches that I love and I like getting into. But at the end of the day, the best way to get good at finding winning products and building up this, finding products muscle is just to test a lot of products. Like, you got to test a lot of products. And more importantly, when you're testing those products, you have to pay attention to what kind of products make sales and what kind of products don't. And this is kind of how I came up with my own qualifications, and it obviously built up my own muscle to where I can look at something and pretty much know right away whether it's going to be worth testing or not. I won't know if it's going to be a winner or not, but I'll know if it's worth testing or not. The main reason is because I actually pay attention. I don't just put a bunch of products out there, test them, and then just forget about them. I'm actually looking like which ones made sales but weren't quite profitable, which ones just didn't get any add to carts and were just a complete waste of money. I'm categorizing things inside of my brain, in my mental spreadsheet, like, oh, I'll never test this again. I've already tested it 5 times and it never works that good. But yeah, that needs to be what you focus on, is when you're actually product testing, and let's say you're testing like 10 products a month. That means, after a year of product testing, you're only like, you just went through 100 products. Like, by the 3rd or 4th month, you'll already start getting a hang of like what's going to work and what's not going to work. And after building so many lists and learning so much about this kind of stuff, you just start building that muscle, and then the products that you test get better and better, and your success rate gets better and better, and eventually it's just like, 1 out of 4 products that you try are actually winners. So, and it takes a lot to get to this level, hundreds of products tested, but it will never come to you if you do not pay attention. Like, if you don't look through the numbers, look through everything and try to figure out like what type of stuff is working. What type, like if you have a lot of red products, and the red products are working, but the blue products suck, obviously you want to test more red products, and that's just an example. Like, I don't care about the color, but I'm just saying, like, you need to pay attention to what works. You need to look for patterns. You need to do this kind of stuff. But that's it for this video. Just to recap, your product has to be able to either create desire, like be unique. Another factor that's huge that I take into consideration is actually the margin on the product as well. So usually if it passes these 2 things, I'll just let it slide and I'll give it a shot. But there are some things that I just don't, even if they pass these 2 things, I just don't test. Or even if it doesn't pass these 2 things, I'll still continue to test, mainly because of my experience. It's like that. It's kind of like a muscle. You learn it over time. You don't really, it's really hard to teach, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like a feeling. And then another thing is just pay attention to what's working, and you should be fine. Just when you're testing products, you should always be paying attention to the data anyways, so everything should be good. But that's pretty much it for this video. If you got good value out of it, leave a like. Make sure to subscribe for more e-commerce content every single day. But yeah, that's it for this video. This is Noah Gura, and I'm out. Peace.